Hi, this is Alicia and welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while, to be honest. I did a short a while back, but I haven't had the time to do like an actual video. So I wanted to sit back and actually talk about something that really means a lot to me. And today I wanted to talk about thoughts, ideas, and feelings. And with thoughts, I wanted to talk about the fact that, and even with ideas, to be honest, that thoughts and ideas, the common point is that you can have many of these in a day. And the thing that I feel like is different in my head for thoughts and ideas is that thoughts are almost based on reality a bit more. They're a bit more concrete than ideas. Ideas are more abstract, and ideas are more almost like a part of it is based on imaginings too. And like what I prefer from thoughts and ideas is probably ideas because I'm a bit of an idea generator. But let's get to the main point, and that's the fact that today I wanted to talk about from these thoughts, ideas, and feelings that how can we benefit from these and the use of journaling with all of these three, and even beyond journaling as well, about refining yourself through taking the time to have clear thoughts, ideas, and feelings that you sit with. So let's go with thoughts first. And the benefit of journaling, so if I was to define journaling first of all, is that I would define journaling as this ability to write what you think or feel and even your ideas, supposedly. And I think that with journaling, there is this humongous scope of value that we almost negate, or we almost don't truly understand the value and the essence of it, because it is rooted almost in a little side activity, or is almost not looked upon. But I feel like there is so much value in this, and a lot of what I do, I feel like the root is truly journaling. So yeah, with thoughts, you can like literally have many thoughts. And the value I see with journaling is that with journaling, you can almost have this like way of reducing the amount of thoughts, because you can't clearly write 10 thoughts at once. And that is even though you're like me and you can have these two ways of writing, because you're just a bit different like that. And yeah, like I did used to write a lot in exams, even more than my peers, because I thought that, yeah, I have this ability, let's use it, and I feel like I'm gonna miss something out. So yeah, but with thoughts and journaling, it forces you beyond whatever I do to actually, or I did in exams to be honest, to actually sit with a couple of them, or like it forces you to write more than one line. And when we have thoughts in our head, we almost have these thoughts that are almost jumping from one side to another. You might hear some building works, excuse me for that. And so yeah, back to this. Basically, I feel like with thoughts, you can have this way of narrowing it down through journaling, because you're almost forced to, and you can't really just write half a line, like just jumping in your head with those thoughts that you normally get. Oh, I want to think about this, or this, I'm thinking about this because of this reality-based event, or whatever it is. And I think that with journaling, there is so much value for our thoughts, and it can concrete our thoughts to even more rigor and like a clear direction, I feel like. And that helps a lot with practicality. And yeah, I think that it would really help with thoughts. So let's go to the next thing that is my favorite. That is ideas. And ideas are almost like you get these you get these like almost these abstract entities jumping around, or like that's the way it goes in my head. It might not be that spontaneous and intense like how I describe it, but yeah, you get the gist of it all. With ideas, you can get a lot of ideas in your head, and a lot of these ideas you might have a difficulty in executing only because they remain as ideas, and there is just so much value in finding a bit more clarity and direction. And like this goes for me totally, that with journaling it allows you a clarity a bit more, and the clarity is so important because you can at least like see the value from an idea to an execution or action. And I feel like sometimes despite that thought, that or idea should I say, that is actually amazing in your head, it gets left alone only because it's forgotten or something like that, and that's so unfortunate. And like that's been the case for me all the time. So I think that actually writing down your ideas through the form of journaling helps a lot, because journaling allows you to find a little bit more of direction and a bit more of concrete reality. The act of literally writing down those ideas, or that idea that you give a bit of time to, I think it gives that idea that focus that the idea needs. Because from an idea to actually work in reality, it takes a bit more of thought. And I think that using journaling as a medium to work on that idea and to make it possible in the realistic world, it requires you to sit down and think about it for a lot longer than it comes and goes in your head or it gets forgotten in your head. And that's the use of journaling. Let's go to feelings. Okay, this is a tough one, and I think that feelings, I think journaling is a great starter and even like a point of growth for feelings. Feelings are important to be felt, and journaling, I think, initially allows you to spend some time to think, like, what am I feeling? And I think that that's so important, even like on a day by day basis, to evaluate or to even sit with, what am I feeling? And I think that it's a great, great starter. And for me, what I've realized is that once I use journaling as a starter to identify whether it is sadness, whether it's happiness, or whether it's frustration, stress, or anxiety, or whatever it is, I think that it's important that feelings are felt, and literally felt like in your body. And I think we jump over that because we try to almost look for like a solution for our feelings a lot of the time. But even feelings, like just the literal like meaning and the root of it is to be felt. And we kind of jump across that because we're scared or we're worried from it or whatever it is. And we have this fear almost that we cannot handle it, or that it's always been said in life that feelings are problematic because of the way the realistic world is, and that you shouldn't spend that much time on it, or else it will be time wasted or whatever it is. But I think that it's not about the quantity you take with feelings. I think that even giving yourself little moments, and like whether you think about sadness, that yeah, like for me, the way I feel sadness is that little bit of, or a lot of sometimes, that sinking feeling, or feeling like almost the negative connotation or the upsetting connotation of the butterflies in the stomach. And I think that feelings are important to be felt, and journaling allows that to start. And that's why I feel like journaling is so important for feelings. And beyond that, I think that a lot of people can spend the time to figure out their feelings later on, but not almost jumping onto that, because like I'll be honest, even I do that, because I'm this person where if I feel anything like sadness, frustration, or anything, I want to jump into finding a solution or finding a happy medium from what can I do to make me happy. Or sometimes I do get distracted accidentally, that I'll see the sun and I get really happy or whatever it is, despite whatever I'm feeling. And that's another talk that I could even talk about, that you can feel happy and sad in different moments. But yeah, I think that you having the time to sit through your sadness, it could even be something as small as 2 minutes. And I think that that can provide so much value, because if your body doesn't feel those emotions, like obviously the happy emotions, we're more prone to enjoying them, despite sometimes having fear that what if we'll have a bad moment or something like that. But more or less, you feel good about feeling those happy moments. And yeah, those happy moments, they make you happy. So you want to feel those happy moments. But yeah, the sad ones are important, especially because you can easily repress them inside you if you don't feel those moments, and they amalgamate and they amplify a lot more, and they can be seen in various different forms, whether it's fear, or whether it's anger, or whether it's even more sadness at a later time. And I think that having that platform where you can just feel those emotions is so important. And I think that, yeah, journaling's a great starter. And then you can start looking for solutions on what to do, what you're truly feeling that you can write down, and things like that. It's important to feel, though, during that time. And I think journaling encourages that. If we don't almost look at what can we do quickly, what can we do next, it's about being patient with yourself and what your body truly needs. And that could be that having that moment of sadness. And like recently I felt that a little bit, and in a way I'm glad that I sat through it. Like it almost feels like you're not capable of doing that because you feel scared of sadness and things like that. But like honestly, it will be fine, and you can sit through it because you're a lot stronger than you think you are. And it just gives you confidence that you can face any emotions that way. So yeah, I think that having thoughts, ideas, and feelings, and the use of journaling with it is so important. And for me, those three thoughts, ideas, and feelings, what they help you with is truly understanding yourself and really refining yourself in the process, like having those moments where you can narrow down what you think or what your ideas are or what you are as a personality, or like sitting with those feelings so that you can truly know what means a lot for you. Like it can provide so much value, and I think that journaling, it's not talked about as much, but it's so valuable. And a lot of understanding who I am in the last couple of years has helped by journaling, and I think that it should be talked about a lot more. So I wanted to, and I did want to also have a side note on the fact that emotions should be felt and feelings should be felt too, and feel like it's so important to feel your feelings. So yeah, I hope this video is useful, and yeah, please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and that will help me grow a lot and even help this message be passed on to someone who is in need. And that's what's most important to me. So I hope you guys all have a great day and you see another option and almost of values through journaling, because it's not just something you do on the side where you sit there and you're writing away without meaning. It can hold a lot of value and it can concrete your identity, and you can take actual steps further in reality through the act of journaling on the side that seems so simplistic. And like a little bit of it is a bit of discomfort as well, because I think that like the comfortable thing to do is constantly think about your thoughts in your head, or constantly think about your ideas in your head, or your feelings that you kind of push back, or you feel it, you feel it, you get scared and then you push it back, or something like that. Or you feel anxious about it but you don't seem to like actually sit with them. But I think that journaling allows that middle step, and that middle step is so important because it's a step that is almost not looked at as much as it should be, because it's almost seen as this little side thing, but it's far beyond it. And before I start rambling, I hope you guys like this video, and yeah, bye for now.